I am Carrie. This is How to Juggle Remastered. First of all, put the other balls to the side. You only need one for now. You're gonna take your hands and hold them like you're holding a box. This is the most important part, and all you're doing is just throwing the ball from hand to hand. It should peak around eye level, and you should be able to keep track of it in the air. This does come with practice, but make sure you are consistent at it so you can move on to the next step. Pick up the second ball, and you can continue throwing from hand to hand. Except this time you're adding in the second ball. So when this ball here reaches its peak, you're going to throw the second ball. So it comes up here, you throw the second. Make sure they are consistent in height and you throw them fairly consistently so you can easily catch them. You will want to alternate hands to practice throwing with each hand. This is a little harder than throwing one ball from hand to hand and gives you the practice you need to throw consistently for 3. Make sure you practice this a lot so that 3 is a tiny bit easier because you're going to need this consistency with 3. You are going to grab the third ball now, and you're going to put 2 in your dominant hand and 1 in the non-dominant hand. The process is the same, except instead of throwing 2 consistently every single time like this, you're throwing that third one after the second one peaks. I'll show you here. Now you don't have to catch the third one yet, just practice getting the third ball out of your hand. You can let it drop. Just practice getting the third ball out of your hand consistently, and you can slowly build up to juggling infinitely. Just like this. That's all. I'll go through a few things you might have troubles with, and then we'll move on to tricks you might want to learn. A problem you might have is you really want to move forward when you're doing the cascades, so you'll constantly be moving forward like that. The way to combat this is you stand against something like a bed and make sure your knees are against it like this so you can't move forward. And this will combat any troubles you might have with moving forward, and it'll be a lot easier to keep consistent. Another problem you might have is your throws are getting very inconsistent. They're kind of inconsistent in height and in the velocity you throw them at. So like one of them could be over here and then the other throw you do is like down here. That's not what you want, and really all that is just a ton of practice and maybe some frustration. The first trick you can learn is called tennis. Tennis is one of the first tricks I learned, and it could be one of the first tricks you learn. First of all, get into your normal cascade. What you're going to do is you're going to first throw the ball on the outside. So you can practice throwing the ball on the outside like this, or you can practice with 2 balls and throwing the outside of the other ball, just like this. This is fairly easy to do, and all you got to do is keep track of a ball. So I'm going to keep track of this one here, and what you're going to do is you're going to throw that over and then throw it over again. This does take some practice, but with enough resiliency, you can get it. Another easy trick that requires you to be able to throw over like this is to just throw over with the one hand over here like this. I'm pretty sure this is called the half shower, and it is one of the easiest tricks that I know. Another trick is called the reverse cascade. So instead of throwing on the inside constantly, you are throwing on the outside constantly. This just requires a lot of practice with throwing on the outside. So you can take 2 balls and you can just practice throwing on the outside of it. And once you get good enough and you feel comfortable, you can actually start throwing on the inside, just like that. This next trick requires you to be able to juggle with one hand and be able to not do like a circle, but you want like columns themselves like this. and you can do something called columns. You throw 2 balls at the same time and then throw the other in the middle, so like this. This does take quite a bit of practice because you need to get the 2 balls to be at the fairly consistent height. Another trick you can learn is to throw under the leg while doing the cascade. This trick requires a little bit of practice, but with enough practice, you can get it. Another thing you need to know is you do not need to throw the second ball before way up like this. That throws off the rhythm and you don't want to do that. You pull up your leg and then you throw under like this. It shouldn't really make the rhythm throw off at all, and with enough practice you can get it. And that will be the end of the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll see if I can make a video helping you or just answer in the comments. If the video helped you or if you liked the video, consider liking it. Also consider subscribing if you really liked it. And yeah, see you later.